happy belated Father's Day. Oh man, out there, Rev Alex Harper. I was thinking about Father's Day yesterday, and what came to my mind, because of the economy right now, is that is the question: how many men out there were in their hearts, as people were telling them Happy Father's Day, they were wondering what is it they should be happy about, considering the weight on their shoulders. And specifically, I thought about people who might be, struggling with debt. So I would like to make that my conversation, before I get to where I'm going. Debt. In Romans chapter 13, I think it's verses 8, it says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. So if you read the scriptures, you find that the conversation about debt, owing people, borrowing money, is a conversation that the Bible is not shy about. And the believer, no matter how saved you are, in this economy, you might find yourself, you are in debt. You might even not be a believer. You've been in debt. It doesn't matter who you are. It's a reality of our times that we are living in a society where debt is what seems to run the economy. The country is in debt. The people are in debt. So if you're wallowing in debt, what to do? What to do? Happy Father's Day still. But what to do? I was thinking about it, and what came to my mind first is something I learned back in 2013. 2013, I was in serious debt. I was in trouble. Everything was crumbling down. Around me, everything was going down. My businesses were going down. My shops were empty. Oh my! There was nothing going good for me that year. 2013, 2012, after that election. So during that period, I had a man say something that stuck to my mind, and I think that's the first thing to do when you realize you're in debt. He said, if you realize you're in a hole, the first thing you do is to stop digging. Stop digging. If you're in debt, stop getting yourself into further debt. The instinct is to borrow from John to pay Kamau. Then when Kamau comes, you borrow from Steve to pay Kamau. And it buys you time, gives you temporary relief, but in the end, the debt keeps piling. So what to do? I am not a financial advisor, so I won't make this about giving financial advice. I don't think I'm qualified for that. But I think I will tell you the response that a believer should have. I think the first thing is to pray. Again, the Bible in James says that if anyone is in trouble, let them pray. If you realize you're in trouble, pray. Ask God to intervene, and God is faithful. He has a way of intervening sometimes beyond what you can think or imagine. Again, that's another scripture. So pray. In prayer, it's a good counter reaction to panicking, because once you panic, fear has gripped you. You won't know you are left from your right. You won't know what to do. You will feel stuck. It's very easy to get into depression when panic sets in. You will feel like escaping. You want to run. You want to shut yourself, somewhere and hope everything will disappear, but it won't. But prayer is an antidote to that. Prayer helps you even to calm down. There's something powerful about prayer. You get clarity over the situation. You get clarity over the circumstance. You realize that even though your strategy seems not to work, or your planning has failed you, you realize that there is God. Prayer returns you to that place where there is God who is powerful and who is in charge of things that are above you. So prayer is a good place. So the other thing that I learned that can help you navigate debt is to talk to the people. Talk to the people you owe. If it's the bank, face them, go sit, talk with them, and most of the time they will agree to a restructure of whatever you owe them. If it is somebody you owe their money, call them up, set up a meeting, go see them face to face, talk to them, explain yourself, and give them a possible date for repayment. Don't go missing. Don't go MIA on them. Just don't refuse to pick up their phone calls. Don't separate yourself. Face the person and talk to them. And most of the time you find people understand, because they're humans and perhaps they have been in your situation before. Something else you can do, I learned back then, is that you also talk to people about your situation. Not necessarily asking money from them. Explain your situation to somebody else. This is why it is good for you to have network, a social network that you maintain around yourself. People who are like-minded, people who might see things like you see, or sometimes it's even better to have people who are ahead of you as part of your social network. Talk to them. Let them understand your situation, and perhaps they will give you a strategy. They will give you a new perspective on how to get out of the debt that you're current in, or the situation that you're current in. Because again, I said, it was easy to tell men Happy Father's Day, but the load on men's shoulders is heavy, and many of us, are wallowing in debt, and we don't know what to do. And sometimes it's even difficult to tell your wife how much debt you might be in. So you need that social capital, people around you. And by the way, part of that social capital is important, because if you have been a guy who's there for other people, you've been there for other men, you're there for your friends, that may sometimes be capital in itself, because when you are in trouble and you let them know about it, you might find that they will be willing to help you. But many of us have caught up with, been bitten by this urban bug, that you don't want to be involved with people, you don't want to be there for people. When they have social occasions, you are not there. You don't attend weddings, you don't attend rashios for your friends, you don't, when they have those social moments, when a friend counts and needs to be there, you are not there. When they're sick, you don't visit them in hospital, or when their parents are sick. It's none of your business, because you said this is Nairobi. Somebody should have, planned. This is the city. Somebody should, have an insurance for, medical cover or something. And that has been your excuse, that you're minding your own business. Yeah, but when you're in trouble, when your best plans fail, in fact, there was a movie like that. When you're in trouble, you realize you need to live with people. And but anyway, debt is not the end of the world. It's a season that comes, and if you manage it well, just remember, stop digging. If you are in a hole, first rule, stop digging. Pray. Talk to the people who you owe. Talk to other people who you don't owe. They might help you in terms of advice, perspective. Talk to friends, the social capital you have built. See if somebody might be willing to bail you out in that situation, because you have been there for them. But anywho, it was Father's Day. And fathers out there, you need to remember, we have God as our Father. Talk to God. Talk to God. He hears prayers. He answers. In fact, he says, if anyone is in trouble, that's what his word says. If anyone is in trouble, let him pray. So you might do well to pray. One more thing I forgot. The real solution to debt is to pay off the debt. There's no shortcut to that. But unfortunately, many of us, we struggle with paying back what we owe. I'm telling you, people borrow money from M-Pesa, they won't pay. People take the app, they download an app, get money, they won't pay back. So if you're that kind of a man, don't find comfort in what I said earlier. You need to pay. You need to start to practice paying off your debt. In fact, a man is as good as his, credit worth. If you can't pay off small debts. You borrow from your friends, you borrow from your brother, your parents, and you think, oh, that's family. They understand. Nobody understands, because everybody has their own responsibility. Everybody has their own bills to pay. So you can go off saying and excusing yourself, saying they understand that he's my friend, he understands I'm late, he understands I'm going through hardship. No, nothing like that. You have to pay. You have to become a man of your word. A man is as good as his word, and one sign that you're a man who keeps his word is to pay off what you owe people. There's no shortcut to that. There is no shortcut to that. So happy Father's Day belated, and pay off your debt. Yeah, pay off your debt. Alex, pay off your debt.